What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be installing the VIOFO WM1 through Hardwire kit on my BMW G30. It's a 5 Series 520D right-hand drive for South Africa and other right-hand drive markets. So yeah, this is just the quick and easy process on how to hardwire the dash cam so that you don't have any loose wires, dangling cables irritating you as you drive. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So this is the VIOFO box, and these are the contents of the box. It's your VIOFO WM1 dashcam, as well as your Type-C cable and the car charger, and then the hardwire kit comes separately, and that's your hardwire kit with a Type-C input. So I've opted to use a 64 gig VIOFO memory card. Just to give you an idea of the size, the VIOFO WM1, a 1 minute video clip is around about 200 megabytes. So 64 gig will probably give you a good 5 hours worth of recording. Okay, to get started, just insert the memory card, as you can see I'm doing now, facing that direction. Okay guys, so all you gotta do, take your cigarette lighter, plug it in, and we take our VIOFO and your Type-C end and simply plug it in over here. Clips in quite nicely, quite solid, and you'll see it starting up. And that's it. That's how you install your dashcam. No, I'm just messing with you.
Recording started.
So I just want to plug it in, make sure it's working, make sure there's no issues. Connect it to the app before I run the hardwire kit. That's just to make sure if there's any issues, we can send it back to the manufacturer or to the supplier. And you don't have to strip the hardwire that you've done. It's always good to check that things work before you put in the hard labor. So I'm just going to connect this to the app, make sure everything's running smoothly, and then I'll do the hardwire connection. Alright, so this is my VIOFO app. We can see dashcam's working properly. Absolutely clear. I'm quite impressed with the clarity of this thing. So yeah, now that it's working and we're happy it connects to the app, all the lights come on, it speaks to me, memory card's inserted. I'm happy to start with the hardwiring now. Onto the driver's side. This is a right-hand drive, a South African model. That's where I want to get under. So I want to take this out, drop this panel completely, and access the fuse box. So to access it, to unscrew it, we just need these little T15 heads. That's what it looks like. And once you've unscrewed it, you just sort of have to fight with it and wiggle it out. Okay, so to access this panel, you're going to see a little clip. I'm not sure if I can get the right angle. Oh, there we go. So just want to twist counterclockwise and it drops. And we've got one more here on the side to the left side of the brake. And all you want to do here is just pull it. Oh, so I'm going to unclip this clip first. And it should drop. And the side panel just clips in, so you want to unclip that. There you go. Now, before you take this out, if you've got ambient lighting, and I think it's also connected to the Harman Kardon sound system, you just want to make sure you don't rip those cords. You can unclip the cords there and there. That's one for ambient lighting and one for the speaker. Okay, now we go to the boot of our car where you'll find the fuse box diagram. This is going to help us decide where we want to tap into, also which fuses we want to use. Okay, so this fuse box diagram shows us where our fuses are located. Basically, fuses F48 to F56, those are your accessory power sources. So the yellow cable of the hardwire kit will connect to one of those fuses. And F20 to F29, that's your direct power sources. That's your red cable of the hardwire kit. So we're going to connect the yellow to F48 to F56 and the red to F20 to F29. Okay, so what I've decided to do is to tap into F50 for the yellow, that's the accessory power, and F26, that's for red, that's battery power. So F50 and F26. Okay, so if you're looking at this facing the steering wheel, so facing the steering wheel, place this down. The top, so F20 is the fuse closest to the engine, and F59 is the fuse closest to you. So that's how we're looking at it. So I'm going to tap into F50, which is 3 away from the small fuses. So if I try to get in there, no, that's not working. So if we're looking at it 3 away from the small fuses, so you can see the red fuses closest to me, then we have green, then yellow, then there's tiny brown fuses. Then we get onto the big green fuse, that's F48. The yellow fuse behind it is F49. And then there's a brown fuse, that's the third one, which is F50. That's the one I want to pull out and tap my hardwire kit in. So ideally, I need to remove this little panel here so I can run the wiring up the column behind the trimming and drop it down somewhere near the rear view mirror. So you just need to start by removing this little airbag tag. Behind it will be a little screw. Obviously just be a little gentle with it. There is an airbag in there after all. So once that's out, you can see we've got a little T head there, probably a T, well, it's not a 15, it's a bit bigger, probably a T20, T25. So we just need to get our correct head and remove that. That was a T20, and once that's out, you can see it's a lot easier to pop this out. So we're just going to use our trim tool, take this out very carefully. Alright, just be very wary. There's a little band that's connected to your airbag. I'm assuming that if that band is pulled or brought into any sort of tension, that's going to deploy your airbag, so be very careful. I've just left this trim hanging like that, and now I'm basically ready to run my wiring. I know exactly where it's going to go. My dash cam is going to sit somewhere around my rear view mirror. You can pop this out because it'll give us a bit more room to run the cabling. I'm just going to tuck the cabling all the way up around the trim, bring it down this pillar, and tap it into the fuse right there. So we'll see very little cabling. The unfortunate thing with this hardwire kit is that, yes, it's a Type-C connection, but there's this little transformer piece here, or whatever this is, a resistor. Quite unfortunate because that's not going to tuck in behind the trimming. It's quite thick, so I'm basically only able to tuck from here onwards. So we're going to see a little piece of the hardwire kit hanging at some point. So I'm just going to try and find the best place to fit this, just so it's nice and tidy. I hate having cords hanging. So yeah, and it's really very simple. Just place the cord where you want it and pull and tuck with your trim tool, and it hides the cord very nicely. Okay, so we have the cord hanging down there. I want to sort that out right at the end, but it's tucked away quite neatly along the hood lining. And now we're getting to around the airbag. Down this column here, you don't want the cord in front of the airbag. If that airbag deploys, you don't want to be slapped in the face by a cord. So we want to get that behind the airbag, and obviously very careful, or as far away from the airbag as possible. So I'm thinking I'm just going to run it along the edge where there's this existing cord. You can see that little cabling running all the way down away from the airbag. I'm just going to tuck it somewhere close to that. That way when the airbag deploys, you're not smacked in the face by a cord. I actually decided to do this part last because it's awkward working at that angle. But when you get to this part, as you can see, the cord goes quite nicely down there. But what I've had to do is use this trim tool, create a bit of a gap, and tuck the cord in as you move along. And you'll end up with the cord coming out right here, and there's easy access into your fuse box. And then you just have a cord coming out the bottom. So now we're going to unwrap this part and tap into our fuse box. Mind the Hardy does. Hang on to these little wires, because they're going to come in handy for all this extra cable that we have. So we can wrap up the extra cable and tuck it in somewhere here, quite neat, so it doesn't interfere with your leg. So once you've pulled out your fuse, you can wrap the wire around it. Just trying to focus on this. Well, the wire is wrapped around it, your accessory wire, and we're going to go ahead and plug it in to the exact same port you pulled it out of. Alright, then we need to take a 13mm spanner, just loosen that up a bit. Okay, so there you have it. The earth wire is connected, and then we have the accessory wire connected to F50, and then we're going to connect the red wire to F26, and once that's all done, you just use the little wire to wrap up the cord and tuck it away neatly somewhere in the back so it's not visible. So after you've clipped your pillar back in, that's what it should look like. No visible cords, nothing interfering with your vision. Alright, so that's what we have. No cords, as you can see. Just my rear view mirror, so that's my vision. But obviously if you're on the passenger side, you can have a look. There's the VIOFO, quite neatly mounted. Very little cable, it's all tucked behind this rear view mirror here. This little housing just unclips, pull it out, tuck your wires in, and you're good to go. And yeah, I'll show you guys what I see from VIOFO now. That's the view I have from the VIOFO. Pretty neat. Synced to my cell phone time. Date is correct. Inserted my number plate but blocked it off for privacy reasons. But yeah, there you have it. Quite a neat install.